Holy, it happened. Juan Soto is now going to San Diego to play with the Padres, as well as Josh Bell. We can't forget about him. He gets shipped over from the Nationals to the Padres as well, and he's going to make that lineup definitely deeper for the Padres. But I gotta say, starting this video off, I am surprised that it wasn't the Cardinals or the LA Dodgers that ended up with Juan Soto. I thought they had the best mix of prospects and major league ready yet young players with a lot of MLB service time left. I thought Dylan Carlson and or Nolan Gorman mixed with a Jordan Walker, Mason Wynn, Matthew Liberatore, plus other prospects in the Cardinals organization made a really, really good package. I thought the Dodgers having maybe Gavin Lux or Dustin May or a mix of that with like a Bobby Miller or Cartaya and Pages. There's a lot of prospects. They have a lot of good prospects in both those organizations, as well as young guys that are ready and have shown that they can play in the show. The Padres, their package includes C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, Robert Hassel, James Wood, and Harleen Susanna. I might be messing up that name, but Abrams and Gore are probably the top two prospects in that package, and they've come up and played a little bit in the show. Looking at C.J. Abrams, he has a career .1 WAR. He's only played, in about 40 or 46 games for the Padres. He's only had 2 home runs. He hit .232 with a .285 on base. He has not been very good in the show, but it is a small sample size. Career .334 average in the minors with a .388 on base, .910 OPS. He's shown that he can hit in the minors, but so has Joe Adell and Jared Kelenic, and they have not shown it in the show yet. So there's still time for all three of those guys, but I just want to mention this because I've seen a lot of this about Ohtani and Soto saying, if we can get prospects for him, let's do it. Let's not forget Ohtani and Soto. Soto's way young, and he has another year of under control than Ohtani, but they're still younger players. They have time. It's not like you need to trade somebody at the end of their career and get prospects for them when you don't know what those prospects are going to be. Any of these teams, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Padres, any of these teams that got Juan Soto was going to be happily giving up some top prospects to get a guy that is going to be a top 10 hitter in the show for as long as you want to keep him. So, that's the thing. Whether you extend him or not, he's proven what he's going to do. You know the value you're going to get in the show on the major league club and not in the minors. You don't care how good your minors team does. You care about the prospects you have there for their value, and if anyone can come up and maybe give you some cheaper value or used as a trade piece like we're seeing right now. But you want Juan Soto. Whoever gets Juan Soto, that's the team that did it right. That's the team that is making their team, their major league team, better. That's the team that's making their fan base happy. That's the team that's going to compete for a playoff spot and a World Series run. Padres lineup got so much better, and they added Josh Bell. I can't forget about Josh Bell. But back to the prospects, Mackenzie Gore and C.J. Abrams. Looking at Mackenzie Gore now, he has a 4.4 record this year with a 4.5 ERA. He started 13 games, 70 innings, had a 4.12 FIP. He's 72 strikeouts in 70 innings. He looks good. He's 23. I believe he's hurt or got hurt last year. I don't remember if he got hurt last year or this year. But either way, he's been hurt. That doesn't downplay his value. He's not lesser value because of that. I'm just pointing out that him and Abrams, they haven't really proven anything in the show yet. So, and Robert Hassel hasn't made it to the show. Neither have the other two prospects traded in this deal. So I don't think you can really count on these guys coming up and being anything just yet. You're going off potential, which is obvious. If you're trading a prospect package for a major league player, you're going off of potential versus somebody you can no longer afford to keep or you don't think you're going to keep long term. I'm not saying the Nationals should have stayed put and let Juan Soto walk in 2 years for nothing. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying you have to be on the side of the Padres as far as who gets the better grade from this trade. I also think that the Nationals, I find it hard-pressed to believe that the Dodgers or the Cardinals didn't offer something with even greater value. I feel like maybe there was something with Soto involved in this. I don't know what it was. He doesn't have a no-trade clause, but I don't know what it was because this makes no sense to me, but I feel like they must have been really big on C.J. Abrams. Maybe they really wanted a top shortstop like that. I know that the Cardinals had Mason Wynn. Gavin Lux could play shortstop if the Dodgers offered him up. I'm confused here, but I'm not, I guess. I don't know what to say. But let's look at it from the Padres standpoint. They get Juan Soto, a guy who was the runner-up for the NL MVP last year, a guy who's won a World Series, a guy who's won a home run derby, and he's the same age as Mackenzie Gore. He's just as young as the oldest prospect being traded over to the Nationals. He's 23. He is young. He's just a baby. He's got the rest of this season to go for a World Series run. They're going to get Tatis back soon. That lineup's going to be insane, and then they're going to go on and have 2 more years of Tatis and Soto and Machado in the core of that lineup. That's going to be really cool to watch for the Padres. They just made their team so much better, and they have a potential of locking them up long term. I don't know what they will do, but they could do that. It's possible. It's definitely possible. So if you're the Padres and you're a Padres fan, you got to be stoked on this trade. Your team just got a lot better. You might have gotten rid of some guys. C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, Hassel, one of those guys could turn into a stud, no doubt. But even at the top of their potential, they're going to be maybe as good as Juan Soto. So if one of them turns out to be that, you're not going to be sad about this trade in the long term at all. I don't think you'll ever be sad from the Padres side of it. The Nationals, you might be sad thinking about, if you could have kept Harper and kept Soto and kept Turner and kept Scherzer and kept all those guys, how many more years you could have competed. But the Nationals just aren't going to do that. They're not going to spend the money to do that. They're going to flip for prospects, and they do have a lot of prospects now. They have Keibert Ruiz. They got Josiah Gray from the Dodgers last year. They just got this stack of prospects from the Padres. They're building a pretty good farm over there in Washington, but it'll remain to see how that works out for them in the future. We'll have to wait years and years and years to see how that pans out. Maybe only 2 or 3 years, I guess, to see how that starts to pan out. But that's one of my gripes when it comes to my Angels and the Ohtani trade rumors is you don't know what you're getting. If you're going to let him walk for nothing, then you'd rather get a stack of prospects. But ideally, you'd rather not let him walk at all, he's a proven superstar, one of the best in the game, just as Juan Soto. So you want to keep those guys around your team as long as you can. And I think the Padres hopefully will go on to lock up Soto long term, or we could see a really fun free agency frenzy in a couple years when he hits the free agency market. So these are just my thoughts. Let me know down below what you guys think. Did the Padres come out on top? Did the Nationals come out on top? Was it a fair trade? Did one team get fleeced? I'm kind of leaning toward the Padres, not only because they got Soto, they also got Josh Bell. And people aren't realizing this. Hosmer was supposed to go in the deal, but he shot it down. He has a no-trade clause. But Josh Bell has been raking for the Nationals and not a very heavy lineup. He's kind of him and Soto in there. So for him to be raking like that with not much protection, now he's joining Tatis, Machado, Cronenworth, Will Myers, Trent Grisham, Profar. They got a pretty deep lineup, and he's going to be joining all those people, bringing Juan Soto, his biggest protection, over from Washington with him. He might even, go up and have an even better year. He's been a really good hitter. He was a good hitter on the Pirates and the Nationals. I'm excited to see what he can do in a lineup that's actually surrounding him with good players. That'll be very interesting. And the Padres just got Hader as well. They're going all in for it. I got to be on the Padres train way more than the Nationals. I guess even if you like what the Nationals got, you're not even going to be excited about it for a year. You're going to be excited in a couple years from now, maybe, to see what it turns into. So right now, the Nationals are kind of off to the side. I'm not really paying attention to them. I'm all in on watching the Padres and see how this works out for the rest of the year. And my Angels definitely aren't making the playoffs, so maybe I'll have to watch the Padres and see how their playoff run goes in a stacked NL West. But like I said, let me know what you think down below. I really want to see what you think. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and come back for some more baseball content. I'm going to be pumping it out all the rest of the season. I got the podcast as well. We'll be posting our podcast on here as well as our YouTube shorts from the podcast. So I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.